Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan Gheesling. It is almost end of the week. It's like recording this later at night on Sunday, and just doing this is kind of like a semi-car vlog, except I'm just recording it on my phone because the time I would have spent today recording the podcast, I've been planning out kind of the next couple steps and goals for the new year, and I'm not really a resolution kind of guy, like don't do this or I'm not going to do this anymore. It's more about just kind of taking one goal and then breaking it down into like medium tasks and then small tasks and then really, really small daily ones and just kind of taking it from there. So, and I kind of got myself, I don't want to say in a little tizzy, but I started, one of the things that I've talked about before with you guys is getting knocked off the workout track. So I started to go through and like look up all these different workout routines and what I think I wanted to do and all these different challenges. And I spent about 30 minutes and I'm like, what am I actually doing? Like none of this really matters. It's just pick something and do it. And so, there's all these kind of predetermined workout plans and things you can do. And for me, I know I don't want to use weights because it's something I want to be able to do forever. And then 2, I don't want to have to do 8 different exercises. I just know I'm not going to do it. I need to like simplify things. So I found a plan and just kind of altered it a little bit and just made it 3 exercises a day plus running. Because I've already kind of done the running thing and I want to say I don't want to say I'm a little bored of it, but kind of bored of it. So I'm going to continue to run 5 days a week, but then just have 3 days where I do exercises with them, body weight exercises. So I just kind of simplified it from there. I'm like, okay, well, let me plan it out, for the next month. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Let me plan out for the next week. And it's just what I ended up doing was just planning out the exercises I have to do tomorrow in an app. The app I downloaded for free. It's just an app. Let me see if I can get it without killing the recording. I can. The app is just called Strong, and it was just a free app on Apple, and you can essentially just type in the exercise you need to do and then just record them on your phone. I'm just trying to do this as simply as possible with as least amount of friction. So rather than plan out the whole week because it's starting to get late, I just did it for Monday. And then, I'll have 2 more days or 48 hours to put in the Wednesday workout. And then it's kind of just done from there. So I'm really just trying to simplify stuff and make it as easy as possible while also being super self-aware. You may be really into whatever, planning out 30 days or 6 days in advance. I just know for me, it's just kind of to start small and then work it from there. And kind of same thing with everything else. This journal that I use, it's called the Phoenix Journal, and it's probably been the best one I found. It's a 12-month journal / planner. And essentially you start with setting 4 major goals, and then from there you break it down. So for example, I usually have like a family or personal related goal, a health related goal, and then, like the gaming business goal, and then my real life business goal. So those are the 4 categories that I usually do goals in. So for example, this is not the goal, because I haven't determined it yet for the gaming side of things for the next 12 weeks. But say it was like hit 5,000 Twitch subscribers, whatever it is. That's not the goal. Then you would be like, okay, so then you break that down into 8 very important tasks of things that I think that I would need to do to make that happen. And then from those 8 important tasks, those would be like TikTok distribution, 2 videos, YouTube, consistency, whatever. So and then you break those down one step further into what you do on a daily basis. So I don't know. And that's all like super granular and to me unimportant, but also important. To me, the most important thing taken away, like I just try to make things as simple as possible, is the best thing I can do to move things forward, both for all the goals I have for the channel and community and health related, is just to literally make sure to have the next day planned and everything ready to go for the next day when I shut it down at night. And then from there, everything else kind of falls into line. So that's really right now my focus, which is why I stopped, planning out the week of working out and just kind of not drawing all the stuff out. I'm like, okay, what is the most important thing right now is that I get everything planned for tomorrow. And so I just wanted to share that thought with you because I felt it's been pretty important for me. And sometimes I know a lot of people, heading into this new year, they'll like me, spend a lot of time looking at stuff or trying to plan stuff out and write it all out, but really being self-aware and really just being honest with yourself. Okay, what is the one biggest thing that's most helpful in moving things forward? And if you're able to identify that, because for different people and not get bogged down by a lot of other stuff, it can be really helpful. And for me, that's what I just constantly remind myself is, did you plan the day before? And if so, then it worked out pretty good. If not, then you got to re-up. But when everything's done in terms of the gaming side of things, I'll share those goals and kind of the breakdown for you when it's all hammered down and done and deliverable. So it may give you some more context and give you some insight, maybe how to take parts of it and apply it to whatever you're working on or whatever. You guys know me. I don't like to just yap. I like to share stuff that's actually done. So I'm excited about that and moving forward. Another thing that's kind of popped off, just a real quick story is, you guys know I've been active on TikTok, posting between 2 and 4 times a day, and then I post and then just see what happens. And last night, there's probably been, if I had to guess, 3 or 4 days when I haven't really had one pop off, meaning that most of them get a couple hundred views, and it may be one that hits like 1,800 views in the past 4 to 5 days. But, I still post and try to figure out why some do well and why others don't do well, but the bottom line is, regardless of how it performs or how many people see it, I just keep posting. So last night I posted one and I checked it after about an hour, had like 100 views. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shut it down for the night and I think I watched a Clemson Ohio State game. I don't really sit down to watch full games, but I wanted to watch that one. And then, so I didn't check it the rest of the night. And then went to bed. And then woke up the next morning and had 50,000 views in less than 12 hours. And I'm like, okay. So then the second thing I did is, I've had something like that happen before. Not to that extent. Normally would pop off. Well, I don't know. Overnight, I guess it was... I've had one go from like 0 to 10,000 pretty quickly. But what I normally do is then I'll post one right after it, just like I normally would every couple hours. Except this time I didn't post one after. I'm like, let me see what happens if I don't post one after. And so I went from like 50 to 80, then 80 to 120, then 120 to like 150, then 150 to 100,000. And then as of right now, I think it just hit 300,000 views in about 24 hours, which is crazy. And it's just, I'll probably talk about this a lot for the next couple weeks or months until it slows down. But it's kind of like rare air out there. It's just, there's not enough content out there. So you have a higher percentage chance of something moving or catching a wave like that. So it's exciting. It's exciting, and just kind of, it makes me want to even do more there. Not that when it doesn't perform, I don't want to do more, but I guess it just makes you want to do even more, if that makes sense. If I see one that doesn't perform, it's like, oh, I just got to keep going and trying. But then when one does hit, it's like you want to do that even more. So that was a really nice surprise. And I think the big thing is I never expect that to happen. So when it does, like, I truly don't. When I'm like, oh, it's 100 views, I'm like, oh, this is probably like another 400 to 500 view one. But when it takes off, it's crazy. And I think it kind of, I don't know, things are just starting to move a little bit, especially with Tarkov. There's a lot going on this week with it. They've integrated with Twitch. So, and, it's always, I would say, flattering is not the right word, but it feels good when the developers of a game that you really like. So the creators of Tarkov reached out about a couple weeks ago and said, hey, Dan, we're going to be integrating Tarkov into Twitch for about a week. So basically what that means is if you watch the show, the Twitch show, and you play Tarkov and you connect your accounts, that just by watching you can get free stuff in-game, which is really cool. It's just like another integration, something cool that we can do. Just something cool within the way the game is. It just adds a higher level of like integration. I think it's really cool. So in addition to that, we're going to be on the front page of Twitch promotionally 3 times this week. So it's just a lot of cool things like that going on. And then as of right now, it was cool to see Pastilli, who's someone we've interviewed on the podcast. just was the number one streamer on Twitch for tonight. You know, he's like the most viewed streamer, and he plays Tarkov. So I just think a lot of things are kind of coming together. A lot of people are starting to play the game more, and it's really, and I know there's people that may not believe in this, but I believe in it. It's just kind of a rising tide. When the game does well, when there's more people playing it, I don't look at it as a competitive nature. I just look at it as it's good for everyone. And I think this is kind of be one of those moments, either this week or next couple weeks, that I think is going to be fairly important to the growth of the game and the community and the channels. So I'm really looking forward to that and see how things shake out. The week's going to be a little bit different, and in terms of what's going to be on the show. So anytime I do something like that, it's going to be very, very Tarkov focused this week. So I'm going to expect some pushback, but sometimes you got to make some decisions that, I think are going to be the right ones for the moment. And then, so make some right term micro decisions that won't affect things adversely on a macro level, scheduling wise. So we'll see. So I'm super excited about that, and just wanted to check in with you guys, and because I thought last week was the last one of 2019, but Tyler's like, no, Dan, next Monday is the 30th. So I could see. So next week I'll share with you kind of the main goals of things we have going on here, and more importantly, the steps and things I'm gonna be focused on executing to push forward for the next year. So I want to thank you for all the support over 2019. It's been a really good year. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you supporting the podcast, listening in, whether you watch YouTube videos or on Twitch or on TikTok or Instagram. I just want to thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it, and I wish you the best in 2020, and I will talk to you next year. Later.